viewer, welcome back for the next part. But before I do, I've had one or two people saying you really should mention about the safety side of things. Now, I'm no preacher, you know that, but I did mention in the last video, I think it was, or maybe the one before, about the dangers of the dust, especially when you're sanding, because it's that fine you can't see it. Now I mean there's great respirator masks out there, I can't afford one of those, but I have my dust extractor going, I've got my air filter running in the background, and so I just wear one of these. But it's better than nothing. I've got another type that sort of it folds flat when you're not using it, so just slide it in your pocket if you want, but I find this a bit too obtrusive, if you like. So I just buy a pack of these. They are the padded type. They last a bit longer than the ordinary little paper ones. So if you're daft enough not to wear anything, you're just asking for trouble. The next thing, do I wear a mask? Yes, I do wear a mask. In a few videos ago I showed you that I got my new mask, came and I was chuffed to bits with it, and yes, I do wear it, and I only speak when I lift it up. It stays, I'm really pleased with this actually, because it stays in position. When you lift it up, it clicks into position. And the old one I had, which was this thing that I think it came free with a lathe, you'd lift it up and it'd just sort of work its way down and flop down again. The difference is, well, no comparison really, is there? Again, it may not be the best on the market, but it's a bloody good one. So think about that. Never stand directly in front of your work if you can help it. If it flies off, it can hurt you. If you just stand to one side a bit, chances are it will go over your shoulder and hurt whoever's standing behind you. But yeah, masks. Always wear one. If you don't wear one, that's up to you. If you want to risk it, I'm just trying to put my way across. Jewellery, that's another thing. Loose cuffs. I haven't got loose cuffs on this cardigan anyway, but I do always take my cardigan off when I'm turning. I've just got a short sleeve shirt on. I have worn fingerless gloves sometimes because I get a bit of a problem with the one hand, and gripping's a bit difficult. I never take my watch off. It's not dangling around everywhere, and me being left-handed, that hand is a long way away from the work. I never take my bracelet off. Again, it's a fairly tight fit round. It's not hanging there, and I will never take it off because there's personal reasons why I won't take that off. So we'll leave it at that. Common sense, really. Don't rush at things. Go very gently. Wear your mask. Think about before you sand. It only takes 5 seconds to put a mask on over your face. If you can afford a dust extractor, get one. If not, I've mentioned before, you can use a hoover. At least it will get rid of some of the dust. Get yourself an air filter if you can afford one. You might not be able to get all these things straight away, but you add to it as you go along. It's just what I've done. I've got the shop pretty much how I want it now. I've got rubber matting on the floor, so because I've got a laminate floor in here, it's really slippy if you trod on some shavings. So I'll put a rubber matting down my work area. It's comfier to work on. It's a lot safer to work on. I say, I'm not the one to preach health and safety, it's just what I've done and what I think is the minimum you should do before you get going on wood turning. That's it. I've had my little go. I'm not going to say any more about it. Like that's done and dusted as far as I'm concerned. And so we'll get on with the next project. Right then, I've got my two blanks about 4 inches square, 2 inches thick. Found the centres, drilled the holes, and I'm just going to round them off in the little circle cutting jig that I've shown you before. So I'll get back to you in a minute or two. Right, I've got it all mounted up. I've started rounding the one off. I'll just show you. There we go. On the screw chuck, as before. Now, because the grain is like running across this piece, not ideal for what I want to do, but it's using that same piece of wood, so I've got to use it up. I'm just rounding it off with a round nose scraper, nice and gentle. Here we go. And just keep doing that till you've got a nice round shape. I've still got a little bit of flat there to take off. Doesn't matter, keep your tools sharp, that's the main thing. A blunt tool is a really dangerous thing to have. So it's much better to keep them sharp, and you could put a lot less pressure on then, and you get a lot better finish. Right, I'm going to do this, carry on with this blank, do exactly the same to the second blank, round that off as well, and then I'll take you on to the next stage. Well, I'm just going to mark out where I'm going to put the mortise now. The jaws measure about 60mm, I think, something like that. So I'm just going to go from the centre, little mark there, about 30mm. Just put a mark where I want to have the mortise. A lot of people do this with a pair of dividers and have the lathe spinning. I'm not quite that confident, so I'll just do it like that, makes no difference. Now I'm going to put a mortise in here, as I've shown you before, and make sure this is nice and smooth as well, because this is going to be the base of the box. Now you can put a tenon on, which is obviously the reverse of a mortise. It sticks out like a foot. Then you've got to think about getting it off afterwards. Now in a box this size, you could probably expand your jaws to hold it while you cut the tenon off. If not, you could always leave the tenon on and have it as a bit of a design feature, a little foot for the box to stand on. That's entirely up to you, but I like to use the mortise, and that's what I'm going to do. You've seen all this before anyway. You get a nice finish with a good sharp skew chisel. Don't be afraid to have a go with them. Undercut the shoulder as usual. Then I'm just going to face this off so it's nice and smooth, and then I'll get it turned round. I've just sanded it down to 400. Now most people, they've got a box similar to this, and you've got 150 grit, 240 grit, 320 and 400. So if you're just starting out, you've probably bought yourself something like that. So that's the only grits I'm going to use, because it is like just to show you what you can do with your basics. I've got some Abranet which goes up to 600 grit. I've got some micro mesh. I've got the pads and the sheets. These go right up to 12,000 grit, and they're really good. But as I say, that's not the real purpose of this little series of videos. While I think about it, I'm going to give a shout out I haven't done one for a long time. Alan Edwards. Now Alan saw the rimmed bowl that I did and he very kindly asked if I minded if he sort of copied the design. Well, there's excuse me, no problem in that at all. It's not my design, but it was nice of him to ask. And he's done it in mahogany. It's slightly different shape to what I did, but he's got the rim idea. And lovely piece of mahogany, very nice. So Alan, I'm going to leave a link to your YouTube channel down in the description below, and I hope you get some more subscribers, mate, and keep the videos coming. Right, sanding, sealant and polish, the usual job, and then I'll get back to you. Right, just made a mark because I want that to be the rim. The actual lid of the bowl is going to sit inside instead of level with the edges. It's going to sit inside there. Well, that's the theory anyway. So I just made a mark, and that's about how much I want the ridge to be. And I also made a mark allowing for, get my pencil, allowing for the thickness of the mortise I've put on. And then I'm sort of allowing the same again, so I've got about a 10 or 11 mil. That's as deep as I want to go when I'm hollowing it out. That should leave a decent thickness on the base without any fear of going through it, hopefully. So you just start digging out, same as a bowl. Use whatever tool you're comfortable with. I'm going to use my spindle gouge and probably my scraper, and get this face nice and smooth. And I'll see you in a bit. I'm just going to make a mark now with my parting tool just on that line, or just inside that line, so I know where to go to. That's it, I know where to stop now. So I'll carry on hollowing this lot out. Of course, what I didn't mention, and I will now, that because that lid's going to sit inside, it needs a little ridge to sit on. So I won't go quite to that shoulder there. I shall come in a bit so it's got a little step to sit on. So that's what I'm going to hollow out to now, not that outside rim. Okay, straightforward really, I think. Just to say, treat it like a little bowl, away you go. And when you're hollowing something like this out and you're thinking, how do we get the sides nice and straight? You don't have to get them straight, you could leave it bowl shaped inside. But I like to do these little boxes with a straight side to them. So you can either use your spindle gouge, tilt it back and scrape up the sides. What I tend to use is the old parting tool. It's got a lot of uses, this thing has, and every now and again I just take it down with the parting tool like so. Now you can see the side actually developing now, and then just carry on with your spindle gouge, whatever you're using to hollow out, and then do a bit more with your parting tool, and you'll soon be there. This is coming along quite nicely. Now if you want to check the depth and you haven't got a little depth gauge, which a lot of people make one, it's only a couple of bits of wood or whatever, But easy way, get a ruler or straight edge, put it along the front of your bolt, whatever you're making, stick your pencil down, hold them tight, come up to the top. I've still got to go down at least another 10mm to the mark. An easy depth gauge. Of course, doing the sides, I mentioned the parting tool. You can also use a skew chisel. Keep very gentle, because now you're starting to get quite a distance away from your tool rest. If you just take gentle strokes, and you can take quite a lot of wood out with these things. So basically, hold it firm, but don't apply a lot of pressure. If you've got the sharp tool, the tool will do the work. You just guide it. Okay, I'm at the depth I want to go now, so I shall start sanding and polishing the inside, and then we'll concentrate on trying to get a lid made, after I've just smoothed that bit off, of course. Right, so I've got the little thing hollowed out now, so this is going to be the top. Now I am actually going to put a tenon on here and not a mortise this time, so I'll just face it off, put a tenon on, then I can reverse it. Now I'm just using a skew chisel for this. Have a practice, whatever tool suits you. I like to practice with a skew chisel. I don't think people use these enough, and they're very handy. But I'm only going very gently. I don't want to get a catch, so I'm just taking my time until I get the tenon to about there. Right, I've got the top turned round in the jaws of the chuck now. Now I want this top to fit inside this rim, so on that little ledge there of the base. So I'm going to take quite a bit of meat off this. So that's the first thing I'll do, and try and get a pretty good fit. Now I know I'm nowhere near there yet. It's just got it to the same, just a little bit under what it was, just rounded it off. But just take a little off at a time. Best to take a little off than too much. Right, I've got this to be a really nice fit now. It took quite a while, just taking tiniest bits off at a time. But here's the base, and there you go. It is a nice tight fit, which is what I want. So now I can start thinking about putting a bit of shape on this. Yeah, that's how tight it is. First, I'm just going to take a bit of a dome out here just to get rid of that hole, and I'm not going to take too much out because I want to take a lot of meat off this side. So I'm just going to dome it a bit. and that should do for that. And then just sand it, polish it, and then we can do something with the top. Right, I've got the base back in the jaws of the chuck, got the lid on. I brought the tailstock up, although this is a tight fitting lid, brought the tailstock up just for a bit of extra safety. And I'm going to just put a bit of shape on this now. This is where you can start having a bit of fun and just let your imagination run wild. Anything you like. Obviously not tight enough. I've just got to bring that tailstock up a bit more. That should do it. Keep the pressure on. A little tip: if the lid is a bit loose, get a piece of tissue and put it in between the base and the lid, and that should hold things. And if that doesn't hold things, just wet it slightly and that'll expand the wood to jam it in place. I'm trying to keep it dry at the moment, which is why I'm having to tighten the tailstock up a bit. But anyway, just put a bit of shape on it, so I'll see you in a bit. Well, although this is a tight fit, there is a little bit of movement, so what I'm going to do is take that off. Like I just said, I'm going to put a piece of tissue in there. I'm just going to wet around the rim with my trusty bottle of squirty water. Put the tissue on and put the lid back on. Get rid of the excess tissue, if you don't really want that flapping around, and that should hold it nicely now. And I can carry on shaping. What I want to do is take it in a bit further and put a little bit of something to grab hold of, a little knob or a little finial. Again, it's entirely up to you. Have a bit of fun, make a nice shape out of it. Enjoy yourself. I want to get this level with this here, if you know what I mean. So I'm probably going to use my parting tool for that. That's better. Now just carry on. This will be a lot smaller. It's quite a lot of wood to take off. Keep the tailstock in place as long as you can, just for security's sake. I've got it right down now, and just taking a little bit more shape on it, and maybe put this a little bit narrow. It's a bit bulky at the moment. And so on until you're happy with whatever shape you're doing. So a little bit of fine strokes now, just to get a few of these ridges out, round that end off, and sand and polish it.
because when you have to take the tailstock away, be very careful, even though you've still got the paper in there, or I have, and it's a really tight fit. With this thing spinning round, it's easy for it to pop off, so very gentle when you come to the lid of the box. And there's a little lidded box. It turned out the top is really nice and tight. It clips into place and it doesn't fall off, so it turned out alright. I'm not that fussed with the actual shape of this, but it's something to grab hold of while you're taking the top off. Yep, it sure is tight. So, little lidded box. Quite fun to make. Say, put whatever shape you like on the top. The main thing is that you've got your transition from the top to the actual box itself nice and smooth. That's it. A little fun project to make. Have a go at one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Quite a challenge to make a box, so if you can do one, be very pleased with yourself. And I'll see you next time. We'll have a bit of an easier time on the next project. This will be the last one in the Ash series that I'm going to do, the next one. Just a simple little project that is ideal for practicing on. So I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye for now.